Hi everyone, Becca here. Today I'm going to show you how I make French onion soup. Let's get started. First off, we're using a lot of onions. So I'm using all large onions and just peeling them and then cutting them into slices. So I'm using about 5 onions. You can use more or less depending on how much soup you want and how thick you want it to be. So just be prepared to cut up a lot of onions. Once you have all your onions cut, in a large pot, put your butter and then let that melt. And after it's melted down, add all the onions to the pot. And I just mix the onions around so that the butter can be evenly distributed throughout the onions. And just stir that around for a little bit. And I walked away and came back in about 5 minutes, stirred around a little more. You can see the onions are getting soft. And then again, you can just walk away, do something else for 5 minutes, and then come back and you can see the onions have become even smaller. But they're not really caramelized yet, so because we want them to be caramelized. So I'm adding some salt and sugar to help with the caramelization. And then just mix that in. And then again, you can leave it like that for a couple minutes, walk away, do something else. And now I'm adding in some black pepper and stir that around. And then again, you can just leave that and walk away and then come back in about 5 minutes. I mean, don't forget about it because you don't want the onions to burn. And I'm scraping a little bit of the bottom. Don't worry if the bottom gets a little dark like this. That's okay because you're going to deglaze it with some white wine later. So just stir it around and you can see it's getting a lot darker. So another 5 minutes later, the onions start to look like this. And I think that that's good for me. Now, if you want the soup to be thicker, you can add some flour in here. Otherwise, you can just add the white wine and deglaze the pan. So that will get all the things that's at the bottom of the pan up. And then just stir that around, let the wine reduce. And now after that, adding in the beef stock. Once all the beef stock is added, just stir that around and then bring it up to a boil and let it cook for another few minutes. You can taste it and see if you want to add some more salt or pepper. And you can also add some Swiss cheese to it too to give it a nice texture. Otherwise, you can just put it into a bowl. And if you want to, you can put the bread on top of the bowl and heat it and broil it. I broiled my bread with cheese on top separately. Enjoy!